So now you've been checking tents for a while and you're ready to move on to backpacking tents, which have some interesting features I want to call out. Let's start with this model, the Nemo Hornet. When you're trying to attach the footprint to the body, you'll notice the footprint doesn't really have a grommet tab. Sure, it has a tab, a strap, but there's no grommet on it. If you study it, you'll notice that the grommet tab on the tent body is actually two-layered. You can slide your finger in between right before where the grommet and the tent pole fit together. This gap is where that plastic piece on the footprint fits into. It's a little bit awkward to show on video, but when you see it, it'll be pretty intuitive. And once you do it, you'll notice that it locks in the footprint quite well. So this is something that you have to make sure is present. As well, let's take a look at the Nemo Hornet once you pitch it. This is odd because there's no extra poles and yet the entire back half is not tight or taut and pretty flimsy. So this is called a semi-freestanding tent because you see those loops at the foot box where I'm kneeling. Those loops are what you use to make it a full freestanding tent. You're going to actually take two stakes and pull on the loops so that you stake out the tent and use tension to give it its full shape. Now let's talk about the Big Agnes Fly Creek, the other model of ultralight backpacking tent that we have. It's very similar to the Nemo Hornet. Again, from the foot box area, you're going to need to stake it out. On the Rainfly, you also have two guy lines that you can attach to the stakes to create that tension. But as you notice, when you walk around this tent, there's a guy line on the side as well. And then there are guy lines further at the front on each side. And then there's a guy line on the other side too. So the two-person backpacking tents are the only tents in which we keep the guy lines on the tent fly where it comes. And in fact, if it's gone, we want to replace it. That's because these tents are so lightweight and they're not very freestanding that you really need the guy lines to help ensure that the tent Rainfly and the tent body can stay taut and tight and shed water effectively.